Yo, this is Austin from Calling Our Shot. We're back to give you guys some player props and spreads in the NBA for Tuesday, March 2nd. Man, it was a terrible night last night. A lot of bad breaks for us. We had Murray over 24.5. He ends with 24. Apparently didn't shoot for 13 straight minutes. Then you have James Harden, who barely attempted any threes, but ends up with 3, and we needed 4. The Mavericks with a bad beat at the end with the backdoor cover. It wasn't a great day, but we're going to move on. I want to say thank you for all your support recently. We're over 550 subscribers, and if you're new, please check out my 500 subscriber special video. I took a long time to record that. It will be linked in the description, and you can find it on our channel's homepage. I made 500 free throws for 500 subscribers. It was exhausting, and you'll understand exactly why when you watch that video. Thank you guys so much. Just kind of a background. When I started this channel, I wanted to create a community, where we can share our bets, and regardless of how each other's bets go, but just chat about basketball. And it has turned into much more than I could even imagine, and we're only a couple weeks in. I mean, we're at 560 subscribers almost. I just enjoy interacting with each other and kind of talking to you guys and hearing your bets, and maybe I even end up placing some of them. So special shout out to a couple people that I see almost every night. Special first to George from Fort Worth, Texas. He nailed it on the head yesterday. He told me that the Pelicans were 5-1 as home underdogs. Their only loss coming against the Phoenix Suns a couple nights ago. Well, he nailed it right on the head, man. They upset the Jazz, moved to 6-1 as home underdogs, and won outright. A couple other people I always see. We got Steve, we got Tim, we got Joker Jokic, who had a crazy game last night. Damian, Evan, Brad Letterday, Greg, and William. There's a lot of people I can name, so if I forgot you, man, you're not forgotten. We see you down there in the comments. But we're going to start with William, and he's going to help us out with our first pick of the day, and that is going to be, he gave me the following stat, and that was that the Spurs score 13, on average, 13 less points in back-to-back games. Obviously, they just played last night against the Nets in an overtime game, so that already doesn't bode well for their legs. But if they score 13 less points, they're playing the Knicks today. Over-under is 216.5. Likely will go down. It was at 217 when I went to bed. At 216. And yeah, if they're gonna score less points, you already know I'm a big fan of the Knicks unders. We don't score a lot of points. We have the best defense in the league in terms of points per game. I'm locking in the under. Knicks versus Spurs. If they're gonna score less points than they normally do, I know the Spurs already play slow. So I'm going to lock in the under as my first pick of the day. We're going to alternate between player props and spreads today. Like I said about that community, man, if you're new here, click that like and subscribe button. It really helps us grow the channel. I've been asking for 50 likes, and you guys have been crushing it. So appreciate all the support. Moving on I'm going to alternate to a player prop. And we're right in back with Giannis over 51.5 points, rebounds, and assists. If you've been keeping track of Giannis, he's been on a killer streak in the last four games, man. He has had 36 plus in 4 straight. His over points, rebounds, and assist line is 51.5. He's cashed this line easily in 5 straight games. Like I said, 36 plus. And, these teams played about a month ago, February 9th, and Giannis did manage 30 points, but he only had 9 rebounds and 0 assists. I don't expect that to happen again tonight. The Nuggets, like we've said before, they will be without Paul Millsap and JaMychal Green, 2 very above average defenders. And so I think Giannis will pile up the stats again while Jrue Holiday still gets back into game form. I think you can count on Giannis to just keep getting some rebounds, getting points, getting assists. He'll do it all again tonight, and this will be a 6 straight cash. Moving on to my next spread that I like, or over-under. I'm going to take the Wizards versus the Grizzlies, under 236.5. If this was last year, I would never touch this line, never touch an under, because I felt like the Wizards and Grizzlies, if they combined, they probably combined for like 250 points. Neither team played an ounce of defense. You just had Ja Morant running full speed. The Wizards would give up over 130 a night, but that's not necessarily how it's going this year. And when you look at the Grizzlies, they haven't really been in as many high-scoring games as you would expect. They failed to break 100 points in 3 of their last 5 games, and they did break it in a big way last game, but they held the Rockets to only 82 points, so the under easily cashed. This line was a point or 2 higher when I went to bed. It's now at 236.5. I think both sides are comfortable. They'll play it slower than Vegas might expect. And the Grizzlies are known for their grit and grind nature. So I lean the under, and that's what I'm going to go with tonight, under 236.5. Moving on to, we're going to alternate to another player prop, and Russell Westbrook, we are back over 20.5 rebounds and assists. You know, we stayed away on the second half of back-to-back. Like I said, I wasn't sure what he would do, but we're back on the Westbrook train. Like I said, it's versus the Grizzlies, and it could be a high-scoring game. I don't expect it to, but there will still be points to be made. It's not like the Knicks versus Spurs. That'll likely be 105 to 98 kind of game. You got Westbrook, who's at 11 plus rebounds in 6 of 8 games and 10 plus assists in 8 of 10. You combine those two together and you've already got 21. You know, he's piling up stats, piling up the rebounds and assists. He'll be able to do it again tonight against the Grizzlies. I'm not worried about the matchup. I'm locking him in again. And moving on to my last spread before we get to our last player prop, which is arguably my favorite player prop of the night. But our last spread is going to be Suns versus Lakers. Over-under is 217. And I'm going to take the under 217. Like I said, this line went down as well. It could go up, but I'm not really worried about it. When you look at both of these two teams, and I know we're picking 2 unders tonight. Arrest me now, but yeah, you got two teams that pride themselves on defense. The Suns are the 6th ranked defensive team, and then you get the Lakers, the 1st ranked defensive team. The Lakers aren't going to score a trillion points. It just doesn't seem like it. You saw last game when they played the Warriors, I believe they had 73 points in the first half, and they only scored about 40 in the second half and hit the under easily. So I kind of expect more of the same tonight. It should be a very low-scoring game. I expect the final score will be similar to the Knicks versus Spurs, like 105 to 103. It's going to be a close game. I don't know which side it's going to go. I could see the Suns winning just because, you know, they're the fully healthy team, but it is at LA, so we shall see, but I'm going to take the under 217 right now. And then my last player prop, which is arguably my favorite, is Trae Young over 13.5 rebounds and assists versus the Heat. This is the back-to-back, although they did have a day of rest in between, but you know, Trae Young, he played them a couple nights ago, and he had 17 combined rebounds and assists. And when you look at his last 6 games total, you have 17 against the Heat, you got 14, then you got 11, so you don't love that. Then you got 19, 21, and 15 combined rebounds and assists. He's had it in 5 of 6. I like the number. I like the matchup. He's getting more rebounds than he normally does, and he's still almost a lock to get 8 to 12 assists every single night. The Heat will probably likely make someone else beat them, and that's why I'm going with his over 13.5 rebounds and assists. So to recap, we got Russell Westbrook. We'll start with player props. Russell Westbrook, 20.5 rebounds and assists. We're taking the over. Giannis over 51.5 points, rebounds, and assists. Trae Young over 13.5 rebounds plus assists. Then we got the Wizards versus Grizzlies under 236.5. Then I got the Knicks versus Spurs under 216.5. And then we got the Suns versus Lakers under 217. As I'm going through this, I realize I picked 3 unders. So we'll see how tonight goes. I believe a couple nights ago, all the unders cashed except for the Hornets versus the Kings game. So we'll see how this goes. This has been Austin. Thanks for all your support recently. Like I said, man, click that like and subscribe button. Drop your comments down below and let me know what you guys are betting on tonight. Really appreciate everything you guys have done for me. And we'll catch you guys tomorrow. This has been Austin. Peace out.